Tuesday. Take two. As in take two. Second week of Talk It Up Tuesday with Team Brandstater. And all around me, you can see the wonderful Team Brandstater. Tina's going to start with Acknowledgement of Country.
Yeah. We would like to acknowledge the Dharawal people, traditional custodians of the land on which we are broadcasting from today. We pay our respects to the elders, both past, present and emerging, and extend that same respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders who may be listening to us today.
Thank you.
And now we're going to listen to our esteemed leader, Susie. Okay.
Susie, are you all right?
I'm okay. I'm not sure what it looks like, but I think that's definitely a moment for to be remembered.
Well, we got
an entrance and a half.
Yes. How do I follow that? I'll have to speak to my rigging crew. I'm looking forward to seeing the replay. So back on to what I was talking about. So, well, I'm just here to talk about nothing too exciting today, but something that a lot of people are wondering about, because due to the COVID-19 situation, people who would not normally consider postal voting are probably starting to think that's a safer and better option for them. Now, also being aware that the election has now moved to 4th of December, and who knows whether that's going to stick at that date or whether they'll change it again. It's all very up in the air, but I thought just to give you a bit of an idea of how the process works. So at the moment you can't apply, but I'll go through it. So
how do you apply, Susie?
Right. Okay, so if it makes it really difficult for you to get to the voting centre, you can apply for one. And how you do that, you can go online or by sending the application in post. So if you have never done this before and you just think you're going to do it for this election, what you do, you'll apply to do this particular election, or you can register yourself as a general postal voter, which means that the every election you vote postally and they just automatically come to you. And so if you've already registered as a general postal voter, you don't need to apply at this stage. It's because they'll come through to you automatically. But for most people in this election, it's probably the first time that they've even considered doing it.
Yeah, it will be mine. Susie, when do postal votes open to apply for them?
So this stage on the Electoral Commission site is Tuesday the 26th of October, and that's when you can actually apply to get your postal vote application.
Okay, so that's next week. That's good to know. Who?
No, October.
Oh, October. Oh, okay,
yes.
Right. I'm thinking, yep.
26.
Oh, so we've got a month to apply. But who can apply?
Okay, now there's quite a lot of eligibility criteria, and they've actually added a few more now due to COVID situation. So obviously if you're outside your ward or council area, under other circumstances, people might have a holiday plan somewhere, so that's why they might be applying. If you're too far from the polling place, like you're 8 kilometres away from that, you can apply. If you're out away travelling somewhere again, and again, these things sort of sound a bit funny because who's doing that? If you're seriously ill, disabled, or approaching childbirth, or caring for someone who is, so if there's just some reason why you just can't go out, if you have religious beliefs that prevent you from attending, if you're in a prison or a correctional centre, if you're working. Now, also, if you're a silent elector, now if you're going to become a silent elector, you have to actually be registered with the Australian Electoral Commission to become a silent elector. And that means that your addresses aren't seen by anybody. If you've got a disability, if you think your safety or your family's safety, and what I don't think it's really going to affect us here is if you're enrolled in the City of Sydney councils. I guess that's because of the size of the area, but that's not going to affect any of us here, especially in East Ward. Postal voting addition criteria, other things you can do, and you might need to do it, and these are all brought in because of the COVID. You're a permanent resident in a nursing home, hospital, retirement village or a similar facility. if you're self-isolating because of the COVID-19 related reasons, or if you believe that attending a polling place on election day will pose a risk to the health and safety of yourself or the people around you due to the pandemic. So these are the additional reasons that they've added in for this election.
So are we having voting centres, Susie?
Not at this stage. They've actually said that the Sydney Town Hall, which is the really big voting centre, won't be happening this year. The hospital voting centres are not going to be available, and nursing, convalescent homes, aged care institutions also are not going to be available. And that's the decision at the moment. It may change, but at this moment that's the case, and that's all due to COVID, because they just don't want too many groups of people going into places where there are going to be a lot of vulnerable people.
There are always deadlines with everything, Susie. I know when we were teachers, we always had to face deadlines. Are there any deadlines facing postal voting?
Yes. Now, as I said, they'll be coming out on the 26th, and they're not available until the actual ballot papers don't come out until after the nominations close the election. So if you've applied for postal voting, after nominations close, you'll get sent out a ballot paper, and you get it done as soon as you can, because you want to make sure it gets there, but they must be received if you're applying, still putting your application in 5 p.m. on the Monday before election day. So that's your date. So that's going to be right at the end of November. That's your last date to apply, and they actually have to have it, not you post it out. So that's the deadline to apply for your postal vote. And then, of course, to receive that vote, 6 p.m. on 13 days after the election day. So that's probably about the 17th of December, around that date.
Yeah.
So that's they're the sort of deadlines. So my advice is, if you think you're going to postal voting, put your application in as soon as possible, because they're expecting a record turnout for postal voting this year.
So I've got a quick question, Susie. Like, can we apply for postal voting, and then if things change, go like not actually do the postal vote and turn up in person? I know we can only do one or the other, but if we've applied for the postal vote, do we have to postal vote?
That is something that I don't know the exact answer to, and I will find that out, and I can let everybody know that next session, because I think, yeah, that's something I can't answer off the top of my head.
Okay, I threw that one in there because it occurred to me while you were talking. Yeah, so that's cool. But this form, so this is what we have to fill out?
Yes, it will be something that looks a bit like this. It will have dates on it. It'll probably have another number. This is just a sample, so don't download it and send that in or anything. It's just a idea of what it is, and it's a pretty basic form. Who you are, all your information, where you want the ballot paper sent to, and the reasons why you might be applying for a postal vote. And I imagine that application section is going to be a lot bigger for this next version of the form, because of all the extra reasons they're allowing postal voting.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's thank you, Susie. I've put the link into the what am I doing? Getting rid of that. I've put the link directly there in the comment that takes you to the Australian Electoral Commission. So I'm pretty sure I've got the right link. General postal voters. So once what date? 26th of October. Then we should be able to go to that link and fill that form in, which is excellent. That is like, it's going to be a very different looking election this year to every other year, isn't it?
Yes,
Which is cool. Anyway, thank you, Susie and Tina and Susan, for the great information today. Now, in case you missed it, all of us have got some yellow happening today, and we've done that for a purpose, and that's because I am part of, and we are all supporting the, where's my thing?
Wear it yellow.
Tina can't get herself in the right part of the frame.
It's all we're doing our bit for Wear It Yellow Day. So this is our official Wear It Yellow Day, seeing as we do this on Tuesdays, and Wear It Yellow Day is this Friday. And on that note, it's not too late to get involved. Literally, if you're doing a Zoom, just get everyone to wear yellow, take a photo, and just put it onto the Wear It Yellow Facebook page and say thank you to your local RFS, which is where this photo's going to end up as well. And we've got some exciting, or not, well, it's election time. I don't know whether exciting is the right word, but we've got some another riveting installment of Talk It Up Tuesday happening next week. So we will see you then. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Susie?
Yes. And just if you have any questions, I've got one thing I've got to look up and get an answer to for next week. But if there's something else you'd like to know about or questions from the group, please send it to our page, and we will endeavour to answer them next week for you. So anything else you'd like to know about the group, and I will try next week not to have such a dramatic start. So if you're a performing arts teacher, have a great dramatic start.
I love it. We got our branding sorted. We got our colours sorted. We got everything sorted. And just as we went live, it all went crashing down.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. See you all next week.
They are.
Bye.